Welcome back to the channel. You join me again in the garage as we make our preparations for the 2025 MG Car Club Speed Championship. This year, of course, the big change, moving from Group 2 to Group 3 road class to modified road class, effectively moving from some mild fast road upgrades on the MG Midget through to really being able to do pretty much what I want as long as it's still road legal at the end of it, all in line with the Motorsport Blue Book S13 regulations, or whatever changes to the Blue Book happen between now and 2025. One of the big changes, though, that we're not expecting to change for next year is that in the modified road car class, you can do some fairly significant lightweight changes. So you can change the material of the doors, the boot lid, and the bonnet. And on an MG Midget, that means you're allowed to remove all of the wings, the front end, and effectively put a fiberglass flip front on it. So in this video, what we're going to be doing is removing the metalwork off the front of the car. We're going to be getting our flip front out of storage and seeing what condition that's in, and then showing you how to mount it up on the MG Midget and getting it fitted and ready for next year. So here then, the car already with the fiberglass bonnet taken off. You can see the two metal wings, we can see our front end, and we can see the grille. Those are the main components that are going to come off. Fairly easy to remove, they're all just bolted on. A little bit of electrical work to do, of course, because the lights are fitted to the wings, so we're going to need to disconnect all of those, and then it should just all come away quite nicely. First job then to do is going to be to disconnect all of this electrical wiring, remove the headlights and the indicator, and then you can see the wing is bolted on. We've got a couple of bolts here. There's one underneath the front end, there's two up at the top and down the side, so that way we can get this whole wing off. So lights off. Next up then, let's get the wing off. Okay, so about 30 minutes and both wings are now off. Time to get this front end off then. Quite a simple job, just held on with a few bolts to the radiator cowl. Biggest job then is going to be to disconnect the oil cooler that now goes through it, so we need to get that out. So there then, after about an hour, is the front end of the Midget removed. So next up then, to get the flip front out. Right, so we're going to fit the front to the car. First thing to do then is fit some mounting brackets to the chassis to provide a pivot. So you can buy kits on the market to do that. This is one such one. Provides you with the tube and also some welded brackets. You can see here I've riveted these on. If I go underneath the car here, I've also fiberglassed those in for strength. So that's how those are mounted on. I fitted the tube so it fitted up flush to the bottom of the flip front here. I've got a bit of all thread that I use to act as the pivot. I use that simply so I can whiz these nuts on and off and take the front off quickly when needed. But depending on the state of your chassis, the supplied brackets aren't necessarily the best or don't give the best fit. So these have been manufactured by me. It's a little bit of 5mm steel here, cut to size with an angle grinder and a drill, and you'll notice that they're not actually the same. The hole, to account for chassis difference and the fit, there's nearly a centimetre difference in where the hole is. So I've just got to get these on the right side, and then the flip front, which has been on before, should be a perfect fit. So you'll notice my chassis at some point has had a bit of a knock, because this one over here is sitting a little bit higher. So what that means is on this one over here, I'll put the hole higher than this one, and then we should have it parallel to the ground so it fits correctly. There we are then, brackets mounted up, not forgetting the towing eye of course. So now I can try the front on for size. So there then is the front end installed. The only thing I need to think about is I had these little brackets installed for the fiberglass lid that I had on last year. So I've got a choice. I can either drop these down and take this out and ignore it and put it back in the side here where I had it previously and do it that way. Or I could use these as well and have these coming up through the fiberglass and put a pin across to hold it in place. But I think what I might do actually is take these out and put them through the old holes. The Midget front end then has been prepped, giving it a light sanding down, all ready for paint. I've got a few arches here as well to go on the car. So we're going to give it a coat of paint, starting with a coat of primer, and then we'll give it a fresh coat of blue. Bit of learning from last time then. Going to be a 50-50 mix of paint and premium thinners, and also going to set the gun to a lower pressure so we get more paint and less mist. That should give a better finish, albeit need to be a bit careful with the gun to avoid some runs. So bit of learning from the last painting experience. Hopefully that'll pay off this time around. And in between coats then, time for a cup of tea. So primer's on, just got to let that dry and then we can get the blue on. So with the bonnet painted then, giving it a quick polish over with the mop, but being fiberglass it's never going to come up as good as metalwork, unfortunately. But it's come up alright and it's going to be plenty fine for a sprint car. Last step then is going to be to dress it, so get the headlights and the lights on, get the bonnet clips on, and then we can put it back on the car and put its final livery on, ready for next year's sprint season. So with the front end back together, time to get it on the car. So here we've got the wiring installed. At the moment there's a bit of slack in the wires. I'm using a spring just to keep the wires nicely out of the way of the wheels. But I really need to find a better solution than that. So over the course of this year I think I'll reroute the wiring down to the bottom and then across, so it's out the way. Fitted the brackets onto the side of the bonnet, so that'll keep it in place. And also put the securing mounts through the side of the footwell, so that's where it'll secure this time around. Put the all thread through the holes into the brackets to secure it to the car. So at that point it's all done. We can close it up. All fitted up to the front of the car, together with this year's livery, some racing stripes. We all know that red stripe's worth at least 5 horsepower, gotta be, minimum. And the number plate on the front, of course, to keep it road legal. So that's the bonnet done and the weight saving on the front. Now to move on to the next upgrades, ready for the first race of the season. So thanks for subscribing, thanks for watching, thanks for all your comments. See you on the next video.